Hello everybody. Today we want to talk a little bit about evaluations in relation to job evaluations. Most people may wonder, what is a job evaluation and how does that work? Well, we start with the job analysis, and the job analysis is determining what type of job that you want. Most people realize and know that that culminates into a job description, and the job description tells the prospective applicant, these are the types of duties that we're looking for somebody to perform. That's the job description. And it helps both the employer because they determine what is necessary for an applicant to consider if they want to apply for the job, and the applicant can consider whether they have those knowledges and skills necessary to be successful at the job. It also helps formulate, at least in the employer's mind, whether they need that job or not, because they're actually able to clearly lay out the duties of the position. And then you can determine whether you need to hire that position or some of those duties can be ferreted out to others in the organization. So it's a good tool to utilize. And the issue in our discussion today is, how do you determine the worth of that job? And worth in general is determined by two factors: internal and external compensation. And the word we use is equity. So you want to make sure that that position is fairly paid within the internal mechanisms of your organization and also the external. So we'll start with the external first because that's the most popular. Certainly at organizations that I've worked, you'll have employees who will do a salary survey and determine that their salary is paid less than others in their market. The implication is that if you do not pay this person more, since they are valued more in the workplace, they'll go to other agencies. Well, the first thing we have to realize is they have to get hired. So your job may be paid more in other areas, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're qualified to get that job. Or that even if you are qualified to get that job, that A, the job is open, and B, if there's an application process, that you would be successful at it. Not to say you won't, but it's something to consider. So that's the first aspect, is determining the external. It's used as a guide, but it should not be the controlling aspect, because that gets into the issue of ability and willingness. So other agencies may have an ability to pay people more, your agency may not. Secondly, they may have a willingness to pay more, and you may not. So external is not the best, believe it or not, way in which to evaluate a job. In other words, determine its worth. A better way is internal. And this is where you balance the two between external and internal, though I have always felt that internal has a stronger case. Internal means in the mechanisms within your organization, this is how you value a job. And so you may value an analyst more than a project engineer or coordinator. But that organization is going to determine how they value their jobs. And the best part is that when you create a new job, it's going to fit into that system. So this organization has already determined how their jobs are going to, for all intents and purposes, lay out in relation to another. And so internal equity and internal comparison is paramount. You want to make sure that your jobs in the system are paid according to the manner in which you determine, and it follows from your compensation philosophy. A good example is the difference between levels of positions you may determine should be 8 or 10 or 12% in a certain area, let's say accounting or finance. In other areas, you may determine that it's 6 or 8, and that's all determined by the worth of that position within your organization. So determining the worth of a job starts with the external comparison to find out where others relay and place this position within the compensation structure. But then the more primary and paramount concern is how you value it within the organization and how that job is valued in relation to other jobs. So that's job evaluation, everybody. Hope everybody enjoys the day. We'll talk more. Enjoy.